Once again, I was recently on Warcraft Reloaded. I'm laughing because I've recorded the same sort of intro, exactly the same thing, 3 times back to back, but it's 3 different topics, all to do with the same podcast. So you might have seen recently I put out a video about my Ulduar eye level concerns. That whole video stemmed from being on a podcast and talking it through with Blazing Bob, Mel Arena, and Classic Go. Shout out to all of those and big shout out to Warcraft Reloaded's podcast. I will put a link in the description to everywhere you can find them. Well, their podcast and their YouTube channel. But anywhere you can get a podcast, you can find Warcraft Reloaded. So definitely go show them some support. But this was the whole discussion that we had around the item levels in Ulduar, how it could be affected, what could be good, what could be bad. It'll be quite a lengthy one, I feel, so strap yourself in, but I hope you enjoy it. Let me know in the comments what you think. And roll the outro, but we've not even started yet. Roll the video.
All right, so Classic Go has some good questions coming up about Ulduar. Oh, do you want to read the question off, the first one you had?
When they were talking about the whole eye level change in Ulduar loot being buffed, it's what, 6 eye levels, normal 13 heroic? But
No, 6. It's 6 across the board.
Hard mode was 12, wasn't it? I thought it was 6 and 12.
I swear it's 6 just on top of everything. Like if something
no,
has
it's definitely 6 and 12. I'm reading it now.
Is it really 12?
Instead of nerfing the item level in TOC, we'd like to see how everyone feels about buffing the item level in Ulduar normal by 6 item levels and Ulduar hard mode by 12 item levels.
Wow, I did not know they were doing the hard modes by 12. I would have just liked to just 6 across the board.
Yeah, it'll put hard mode gear. It'll put a 251 then. So it's better than normal TOC, which is 245.
Hard mode 25 man, right?
Hard mode 25 man will be 251. Yeah. So it's only 7 eye level, I believe. Hard mode TOC is 258.
See, that kind of I would have much rather it just been 6 across the board because then
like
it would have made.
It was still not confirmed last I looked. Has it been confirmed that it's happening?
All but confirmed, basically.
Yeah, and the capes were 272. Sorry, the capes were 272, not 264.
That makes it so now Ulduar hard modes when TOC is out are mandatory. I just wanted it to still be something worthwhile doing. You know what I mean? Like 6 across the board, I think would have done what needed to be done. The 12 on the hard modes, that's a really big I must have missed that when they first talked about it.
But there's going to be there's going to be 7 eye levels so small, like 7 eye level difference between TOC 25 heroic and Ulduar hard modes. So, in itemization wise, if you was to look at TOC, it's like, well, it's better item level, but TOC's quite small. You're not going to get a full set of gear. And there will be items with like armor pen on, for example, from Ulduar hard modes, which even with 7 eye level reduction, the itemization is going to be better for some classes. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say Ulduar hard modes are still during TOC 25 will be mandatory.
If it was only a 6 eye level buff, it would have been less mandatory.
Can we confirm something else real quick then? Because part of the question is about the emblems. The emblems are going up, right? So like the emblems of valor are going to still be emblems of valor in phase 2. There's no emblems of conquest, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No, they'll be the same.
Yeah, we're not sure how they're going to do it because they are going to basically have just 2 emblems. And they might just keep them just the same. Like it might just turn into, everything in Ulduar just drops emblems of valor. And they might not go to the next one, but they might go to the next one and then everything drops the new emblems and then all the heroics drop valor. That could be the direction they go. And that's probably the direction they're going to go because I don't think they want everybody holding on to the old emblems and being able to just like spend those on everything.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
Well,
it's a very kind of confusing thing.
The thing is, so if you go to Dalaran and you go to the sewers, the currency vendor has actually got all 4 emblem tiers on. So if you go there now, they're all there. I'm guessing that would change. Me personally, I genuinely believe that we'll only have heroism and valor. Obviously, I could be wrong. Either way, it doesn't really matter. There's only ever going to be 2. But Like, for me, I don't really see the point of ever implementing another emblem. You might as well just... Everything in current content's Valor, everything in old content and Heroics is Heroism. And, like, that's
Well, see,
very easy.
The problem that people are pointing out is that you could save up your emblems of Valor, and if it doesn't move to the next one,
They would just
then
convert.
basically-
They'd convert down, wouldn't they? They'd have to. You know, on patch day, your Valor would become Heroism, because if you think about it, ultimately, that's what they are. You know, as in the new tier of content, they are emblems of heroism.
Yeah, so just to, like, for everybody at home, what we're talking about is, like, if somebody saved up the higher tier emblem of Valor, and then they just save those up, and then those stayed Valor, and we moved to the next Ulduar, you know, like, thing, all the new badge gear, they would just be able to buy instantly if on patch day it didn't convert those down to heroism. So we're assuming that they're going to convert them down to heroism, and you'll be able to buy any of the old stuff. So stuff that you buy for emblems of Valor right now would then be emblems of heroism you would spend. So if you wanted to buy the bind on equip bracers during Ulduar, the 213 ones, and sell them on the auction house, I believe you will probably buy those with emblems of heroism at that point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's exactly right, and exactly how I see it working. And again, there's no need to do it any other way, because your emblems, just because it's rolled over to, because it's rolled over to phase 2, it doesn't make them any like less worthy or worth less per emblem, because you can get exactly the same gear as you could the day before.
Right.
So it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I feel like they have to convert them over, or else we're all just going to be starting with all.
Oh, they'll convert them. Yeah, they'll convert them. And it's not new, is it? You know, again, just looking at it from, you know, converting arena points to honor points after a season, converting badges to gold when the point system comes out in Cataclysm. You know, it's something that they've always done. It's not like, oh, they need to do anything new. It's happened for, you know, 17 years, 16 years, whatever it is. So yeah, they're not having to do anything different. It's just standard to convert things down when a new phase or a new season starts.
With there only being 2 badges and you getting those, you know, those badges, you know, from heroics, like heroics are gonna, like the daily heroic and heroics are gonna be healthy every time a new tier starts.
And you're going to start getting epics from the heroic plus as well, which, you know, that's I mean, that's a completely different conversation, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be interesting how that plays out, and whether it's only going to be a phase 2 thing. You know, is it something that's going to carry on, which I genuinely hope it does, because it's outside of all, like, Ulduar I'm mega excited for, but I am mega excited for gearing my alts in heroics and getting 10-man gear, and then going in 10-man Nax to get 25-man gear. You know, like, I am excited about that. It's a weird change. It's one that didn't sit well with me for the first few hours, but then when I really sat and thought about it, it's like, well, if you're during TOC, you're gonna have to do Ulduar. You know, you're gonna have 2 phases where you're still doing the old raid. You don't want any reason to need to do, like, Nax 25 as well. So being able to get Nax gear from alternative sources is actually, it's genius. It's actually a genius move.
Yeah, I like it too. I was a little weirded out about it, but, like, I saw the beauty of it in just, like, not having to drag people that didn't want to go do the 25-man again and just dragging them into the 10-man. I thought that was pretty cool.
This feels really rude of me. I do apologize, Go, but what was the question?
I was establishing the base there. So we've got the base. So the question was, does the eye level of the profession patterns also go up, or is it strictly loot from the bosses? And is it the emblem gear? Does that eye level go up as well from the vendors? And like, should it go up? Should they stay 226 or whatever it is that they were, or should they go up? I feel like they should all boost up too, but
it should all boost up equal to whatever the level of dungeon item is, or else, like, why get it?
This is, yeah, it's very
makes
interesting.
them BOEs like really strong. Like the patterns get some good value.
Well, the pattern, like some of the patterns have always been strong. You know, like they absolutely are. But yeah, I mean, I love the emblem question more than the patterns. For me personally, again, you know, each their own. We all think differently, which is good. For me, the crafted gear is a no-brainer. You know, like that absolutely should go up. There's like no doubt about it because they drop from the raid. They require ruined orbs, so they require a raid reagent to make. So they should absolutely match the item level of the raid. The emblem one is probably a bit more difficult. You know, as in emblem gear. Yeah, but I mean, then they should. Yeah, no, there's no two ways about it because ultimately the tier 8 set is going to go up in eye level. And the tier 8 set should represent the rest of the gear that you can get on exactly the same vendor for the same, you know, exactly the same currency.
For the new emblems.
Yeah, so it should all go up. Yeah, all the conquest.
I mean,
gear.
Isn't there gear that you can get from boss drops and also just purchase with emblems?
Yeah, the tier gear specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll obviously go up.
Yeah,
You're not going to get less than tier gear from emblems than you would if you waited to get it in a drop, right?
It'd be funny. I've got the tier 8.25 gear.
yeah. No, it should. It's very strange, but it's like even when you look at, you know, for me, for example, as a paladin or for Go as a boomy, you know, the spell power that you're going to get from Insect Swarm for the idol, for example, or, you know, the spell power from Holy Light, you know, they're like, you start getting some really good idols, relics, and stuff like that in Ulduar, which seeing those buffed is going to be really interesting. Like seeing the eye level of stuff go up is going to be quite bonkers when they're saying like this is not me being negative, by the way. Yeah, he agrees. So this is not me being negative. Like the fact that like Ulduar is one of my favorite raids of all time, and I can't wait to get in there. I can't wait to start gearing up in there. But you know they're fixated on the fact that they're going to add some pre-raid, pre-nerf mechanics and stuff like that. Which there's no mechanics; it's more timers and stuff like that. You know, as in the amount of time you get to kill Hodir to activate hard mode and things like that. You know, there's no massive changes, but we are gonna every single week be increasing our eye level across the board by such a massive amount. If you're a guild that's doing hard modes, that it could almost become very easy, very quickly. Outside of things like Yogg, Alone in the Darkness, and that's really the only one. There's not a hard mode where I'm sat here even worried, you know, about going into phase 2. It's like I know we're gonna pretty much walk over the vast majority of the hard modes. You know, when people panic about like Firefighter, like Mimiron, for example, Mimiron's easy. Like Mimiron's easy on normal and it's easy on hard mode. It just comes down to having 25 people in the raid that are confident with the mechanics because. You know, one mistake by someone is what's the word? It's like you got a magnifying glass put on you. Like everybody knows it was you fucked up.
Bob,
like a Thaddeus.
Yeah.
Dying on Thaddeus, right?
It's Bob. Everybody knows it's Bob.
It's kind of like 4 horse in classic vanilla in Nax. Is similar to a lot of like the type of things you're going to have to go through and know in hard modes in Ulduar.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of stuff personally put on you and there's a lot of different mechanics that you're going to have to practice, you know, like when we did Yogg No Lights, like, you know, it took us dozens and dozens of practice runs at it, you know. And a couple weeks of progression to actually get that down, you know.
An interesting question, and this is a question. This is like I'm not trying to be facetious in any way at all. Valanir, is that a normal item or is that a hard mode item? Valanir being the legendary healing mace, which is 245 eye level. Now, what that's classified as, whether that's classified as a normal item or a hard mode item, makes massive differences. If you're boosting that by 12 eye level saying it's a hard mode item, like all of a sudden that's huge. Like that's huge. You will like you could possibly be using it in ICC 25 heroic as maybe your BIS.
But does it make sense to have it a normal item where it only drops in normal?
Well, it's more what you classify it as. You know, it's
But
so
it doesn't drop, right?
Yeah, it's
Wait,
only no. You get
you
fragments.
collect the you
get
collect the shards.
you get 30 fragments to forge it, and but what I mean is, yes, you get it in 25 man. You know, you can get fragments from hard modes, you can get fragments from normal. Yogg-Saron always drops a fragment. You know, there's all these stipulations, but it's a legendary. So are are Blizzard going to classify it as a normal item, so it'll only get boosted by 6 eye level, or are they going to classify it as a hard mode item because it's a legendary, that ultimately needs a lot of work and a lot of team play to be able to make one, and then does it get boosted by 12 eye level?
I think they have to classify it as a normal item, right? Because you can get the things to make it in normal.
I think it's a legendary. You have to classify it as you have
If
to
you're
buff
going
it
to
as much as
classify it,
possible.
no, if you're going to classify it as a hard mode item, though, then you have to only drop the things to make it in hard mode.
But collecting
you
as a
can
guild
drop-
is kind of hard mode. It's like a different type of hard mode, but like
No, I feel like if you can get it in normal, you should not classify it as a hard mode. I mean, I'm a healer. I'd love it to be like boosted by 12, but I think realistically, if you can get the stuff to make it in normal, you shouldn't classify it as a hard mode.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, you have to finish it in hard mode, right? You can't finish it in like normal.
No, you just have to toss it into, once you've forged it, toss it into Yogg-Saron. I don't remember it being having a hard mode requirement.
I don't think it did. But
Okay.
still, the guilds, it's a legendary.
You might have to do +1, maybe. Let me have a look. No, I thought you could do it on any difficulty. You might have to do it with at least like 3 keepers instead of 4. I'll look and come back to you on that.
+1's easy though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's
But it
not really.
then technically would be a hard mode.
That leads into the second topic or question is
There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes, everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name, and you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.